All right, so I'm turning this into a podcast. I'm talking to Brian. I didn't know Brian 3 minutes ago. Brian booked a call on my calendar. He started telling me a story. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let me hit record, man, because this is wild. Brian showed up on my calendar, and we were going to talk about launching his podcast. And I was like, well, how did you ever find me? And that's when he told me, and I'm like, dude, hold on, I got to hit record. Brian, say what you were just saying about how you found my podcast.
Well, like I said, I've been locked up in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for the past 4.5 years. A few months into being in my sentence, we received tablets while we were in prison. And when I searched for motivational speeches, for something to motivate me throughout the day, Sam Crawley came up #1 on the podcast thing, and I clicked submitted to it, subscribed to it. And I mean, for the past 4.5 years, I've listened to it every day, every morning. I came home and I sent your podcast to people out here in the free world. My best friend knows about it. My partner knows about it. My son knows about it. I mean, I was sending them your links of, hey, man, you really got to listen to this. This is really helping me. So like I said, for the past 4 years, you've changed my life without even knowing what you were doing. So
God, that is incredible. I received that blessing, man. I received that because it's just amazing that, when you do a podcast, you don't know who you're going to reach. You don't know when you're going to reach it. Yeah. And how it's going to
when you were going to the gym. I knew when your daughters got sick. I knew when you were having the construction out in front of your house and you were still talking about it and how stressed out you were over that. I went back and listened to like months, even years of stuff, just hours of it. So I mean, I'm probably more familiar with you and your family than you know. You know what I mean? So
what's prison like? Well, what was it like the past 4 years?
I mean, it's bad. I mean, it's bad. It's one of the worst places I've ever been in my entire life. Like I said, and then with COVID hitting, especially because everything was secluded. I mean, you were isolated from everybody. You were stuck in an 8x5 cell for weeks at a time. And I mean, the temperatures there in Texas, it's, 100 and something degrees. You're stuck in there. I'm 6'2", 220 pounds. So I'm a big man. And I'm stuck in there with another man the size of a walk-in closet. So being in there for weeks at a time, you got a lot of the COs that really don't care that you're in there. I mean, they don't know why you're in there. Like I said, I was in there for an evading charge, but you got, they house you with guys of, that are murderers, or they got, child stuff going on, or, you don't never know who you're locked up with. So the COs don't differentiate the difference of who you or why you're in there. They don't house you with somebody that got the same type of charges as you. So you don't know what's going on. So, I mean, it was just the most violent, dark, gruesome place that I've ever been at in my entire life,
What's evading? What's that mean? You were in there for an evading charge.
So when the police try to pull you over, you have a certain amount of time to pull over to the side of the road. I was, like I said, I had just lost my dad. I was going through one of the worst divorces in my life. I've been married twice, so this was the second time that I had been divorced. And the divorce was it blew my mind. It was she took everything that I had ever owned in my entire life. And then right after that, my dad had passed away because of COVID. So whenever the police officer tried to pull me over, I was in that state of mind to where it was like, I'm not going to listen to your authority. I'm tired of listening to everybody's stuff. So because I didn't stop when he told me to stop, then, you get
4 years for that? I have no idea. You get 4 years.
They were trying to give me 8. So, I mean, I got them down to 4. So.
Whoa. Yeah, was it just as simple? There's got to be more to the story. Did you have a firearm or anything? I mean,
no, there was a guy that was in there with me that he had a charge on him. So, I mean, you know what I mean? So, I mean, the city that I live in is a very small city. So, I mean, you're not in a big town. I mean, not in a big city. So,
yeah.
But I mean, just being in there, I believe that all of it happened for a reason, because I wasn't the nicest person before I went in there in the first place. So being in there kind of, opened up my eyes to a lot of things and
what do you do now?
Things.
Yeah, what do you do now?
I said, so when I came out now, I'm going back to school to finish my bachelor's in business marketing. So I have an associate's degree in computer science before I went in there. So I'm going back to get a bachelor's degree in computer science. And I just had signed up to do some full stack marketing thing. So I'm trying to get into freelance marketing, since that's the direction I'm going into. Listening to your podcast was kind of just like, I mean, I could seriously show you notes right here that I had written down I had written notes. I don't know if you can see them, but I had written notes. These are all notes that I had written from your podcast while I was in prison, that I just wrote down every day of things that you had said, ways to start, like, everybody has a message. Somebody needs to hear your message. You know, it's not about you. It's about who you're trying to impact. I mean, there's just, you're all over the house. Like I said, I mean, when I came home, my partner could tell you exactly. I mean, I don't know if you could see that. I mean,
yeah, podcast, add Sam Crowley, look up for
This was like my to-do list the day that I got out. This was like the first day that I got out of. So, I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
did you try connecting with me while you were in prison?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you do? Did you call? Because I never answered.
It was a Facebook message when I had joined your thing. I just wanted to tell you thank you. I said, I don't know if you were going to get it. So I was like, I just want to tell you thank you for the impact that you've had on my life. Like, I mean, you really don't understand some of the days I was about to lose my mind in there. There was so many fights and I mean, the place is very violent. People are getting stabbed and killed in there every day. So, I mean, if you're not in your right state of mind in that place, you're going to get lost. You know what I mean? So, and if you had even the slightest bit of addictive personality to anything, you're out of there, because there's more drugs in that place than there is in the streets. So, I mean, people that used to do any type of drugs in the world but weren't that bad, they go in there and then they're just sitting in a cell all day long. So all they're doing is now they're just abusing drugs. And that was something that, I mean, I was either going to go left or I was either going to go right. So, I mean, and the difference was I started reading books. I started reading books like Best Self and, you know, Think and Grow Rich, or I went and got this book here, the Dale Carnegie book, on How to Influence and Make Friends. So during reading these books and then listening to your podcast is exactly what helped me stay out of the way. So, I mean, it was life-changing. So, you know what I mean? I felt you as soon as I had got out, I needed to reach out and just tell you thank you. So
I'm so happy you did. I mean, I had no idea. I mean, we're on a Zoom call right now. This is totally impromptu. Like, we were not on a Zoom call to do a podcast. We were on a Zoom call because Brian wanted information on how to launch his podcast. I just started talking to him. How'd you find me? I'm always curious. Did you see an ad somewhere? Did you listen to the podcast? And he told me that he was in prison 4 years and listened to the podcast every day. I was like, whoa, hold on a second. That's wild, you know? I give you all the credit.
And I'm not the only person. I mean, there's a lot of people that, I mean, once I started listening to you and there was other people that I knew were trying to go in the same direction as me, I was like, man, you got to listen to Sam's thing. I mean, his thing about his daughter coming up to him about, you know, hey, can we do this, and the Saturday thing. So, I mean, your whole story was like, it's a positive light in a very dark place. So, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So
who knew it'd be the #1 podcast in the Texas state prison system?
Yeah, for real.
Who knew? So, well, hey man, I give you all the credit in the world. I was about to say, because you're trying, you know, we all, you know, but for the grace of God, there go I, you know,
exactly.
And we could all end up in a dark place where I think we're one bad decision or one friend who tells us to do so. We've all been there, man. I don't know, maybe everybody. I know I've been there, you know, that far away from a bad decision that could ended up, you know, having some really bad consequences. But here you are. You're downloading all this personal development. You're going back to school. You're getting your degree. You're working. You also have jobs that you're doing, and you're looking to freelance your business, man. I love it. I love everything about that story. I'm so happy that you booked this call. I had no idea. No idea. I had no idea. So, anyway, let's wrap it up, Brian. Congratulations on what you're doing with your life. Don't stop, man. Like, you're going in such a positive direction.
Failure's no longer an option at this point. So
yeah. Amen to that. All right, Brian Flores, thanks so much, man. From the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate you reaching out today. I really appreciate you, being authentic. We didn't have to record this. I mean, you could have very easily said, no, I don't want to tell my story, but it's going to help a lot of people. When people hear this message, as short as it was, it's going to inspire a lot of people, dude.
Oh, I already know it. I already know your 2 minute motivations did that. So, I mean, I already know it. That's why, that's why I had to reach out. And I knew there was going to be some type of investment fee. There always is. But at the same time, it was worth it. I mean, this right here, just, you don't even understand how glad I am that it was you. I really thought it was going to be some person from overseas being like, hey, you know, let me ask you some questions and things. So, I mean, it's been an honor, really.
Well, if overseas is Cincinnati, Ohio, then here I am. But, you know, there's something to that as well. When you get your big marketing company in place and everything, never forget where you come from. You know,
exactly.
People really appreciate that the guy they see on YouTube every day or they hear the podcast shows up for the call And it's not that, it's not like I'm sitting here throwing holy water around everybody, thinking I'm better than anybody, but I never want to forget where I came from. I started the movement 18 years ago, and I hopefully through the grace of God, I'll be here 50 years from now, man, meeting people just like you, inspiring people just like you.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. And that's the ripple effect, because now you take the seeds of those positive audios and you go bless other people for the rest of your life, dude. I love everything about it. So
exactly.
All right, Brian. Thanks, buddy. It was so nice meeting you today.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Have an amazing day.
You too.
I love it. We'll see you.